Over the past 8 years, this has been my go-to setup for quick and easy hang-in hunts to get up the tree in one trip, down the tree in one trip safely. There are a lot of good stand and stick combinations that work well for people. This is just what I found works best for me over the past 8 years, and I've harvested some of my biggest deer from this exact setup. My go-to stand is the Muddy Vantage. I did buy this back in 2015 and it is discontinued now, so you're gonna have a hard time finding this stand, but I absolutely love it and it's worked really well for me. Pretty lightweight, great cushion on it, and my favorite part is the attachment up in the tree. Super fast and easy. I'll show you that in a little bit. Then the sticks I have are the Muddy Pro climbing sticks. I've got 4 of them, super fast and easy and safe. And I've got the Sitka cargo box pack. A lot of different packs that can be used in this situation. I've just been using this one the past 2 years and it's worked well for me. I like all the different pockets, especially for all my filming gear when I'm filming in the tree. This is exactly how I carry my gear when I'm walking into the stand. I've got the tree stand in one hand, my bow in the other, and then my backpack with the climbing sticks right on the back. So when I get to the tree, I can just set my bow down, set the stand down, drop my pack, I'm already gonna have my safety harness on and ready to go. Pop the first stick off. You can see I have an 8er on here. I don't use this very often, but it is really nice if I need to get a little bit of extra height. It allows me for about 3 or 4 feet extra height. This is just a piece of rope with a little bit of a rubber hose on the end. Super simple. So I'm not gonna use that right now, but whenever I do, I usually just put the stick just a little bit higher. Gives me some extra height right there. So the way I do this, where I can get all 4 sticks up the tree along with my stand, the bow, and the pack, it starts with these loops that I've put on the side of my safety harness. They're a 7-inch loop. And what I can do is take one of these climbing sticks, pop it in there, and it'll just sit right next to my leg like that. Take another one, do the same thing on the other side. So that way I've got 2 right here and they're hanging, ready for me to grab them and put them up when I get to the top. Those are gonna be the top 2 sections. So once I get those ready to go, I always like to carry a pruners with me in one of my side pockets in my hunting pants. That way if there's any limbs I need to trim on the way up, I have easy access to that. And then I also carry 2 ropes with me at all times. These are gonna be to haul the tree stand and the bow up. Now, you can do it 2 ways. This tree stand does have some backpack straps on it, and you could use that to carry it up and then pull the pack with one of these ropes. But I usually have a really heavy pack because of all the filming gear I bring. So usually the pack is on my back and then I'll hold the stand up with the rope. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Just have 2 ropes that are gonna be long enough, one for the bow, one for the tree stand. I'm gonna put my tree stand on one side of the tree, get that rope tied to it. Then I'm going to take the other side of the rope, loop it into my safety harness here. That way I have access to it once I get up to the tree. Then I'll take my other rope, do the same thing with the bow. Usually put that on the opposite side of the tree, so when I'm pulling one or the other up, they don't collide or anything like that. Try to get it away from any other trees or limbs so it's not snagging. And I'll attach that exact same way as the other one somewhere on my safety harness, so when I get up to the top of the tree I can pull my bow up. So the last thing I'm going to pull out of my pack here before we head up the tree is the mounting bracket for the tree stand. Like I said, this is a Muddy mounting bracket and it works great. I don't know if they make this one anymore, but I know there's a couple different brands that make something similar, or you could potentially even make a mounting bracket yourself to be able to pop the tree stand in there really easily. So I'm going to take this. It's got a bag here, as you can see, and a strap on it. So I actually run this strap through my safety harness and attach that there. So then when I get up to the top of the tree, I have easy access to this mounting bracket and don't have to go digging in my pack for it. So I do have a lot going on here. I've got 2 sticks on each side of me. I've got this mounting bracket. I've got my rope for my tree stand. I've got my rope for my bow. So there's a lot of things I could get tangled that I gotta really pay attention to, but it's really not too bad as long as there's not too many limbs on the tree. All right, so the last thing that's going to be attached to my safety harness is this rope right here. It works really well. This is about the same length, actually a little bit longer than my rope on my sticks. So whatever my sticks can fit around, this is going to be able to fit around even more so, which is pretty important. You don't want one that's too short that you can't even get around the tree. But have this on one side so then I can toss this around the tree, hook it on the other side, and remain connected to the tree at all times to stay safe. So with that, let's grab the pack, throw that on, let's head up the tree. So I'll take my first stick here, just put it on the bottom, of course, and I usually just kind of guesstimate where it should go as far as I can get it, but still reach it with my foot there pretty easily. Toss the rope around and secure it in, and it's ready to go. Now take the second stick, move on up. Once I get up the tree, I will take my rope here, put it all the way around the tree. That way it can be safe. Hook it in on the other side. So one issue that can arise in this process is if there's limbs coming out of the tree and I have my safety line below the limbs and I need to get it above it without getting disconnected from the tree, what I can do is put a secondary rope in my side pouch on my backpack, and I have that with me so I can put that over top of the other limb and then stay connected to the tree, disconnect the bottom one, and then keep staggering them back and forth over top of limbs so I'm staying connected to the tree at all times and staying safe. So now that I'm 2 sticks up, I'm off the ground a little bit. This is really where these paracord loops come in. So I have super easy access to the next stick. You can just whip it out right there, pop it in, and keep moving up the tree. Grab my other stick from my other side. Keep on moving up the tree. You can see there's some limbs in the way here. That's why it's nice to have some easy access to pruners. Now that I'm about the height I want to be, I have super easy access here to my bracket, so I can just pull that out, kind of look at the tree a little bit, try to get the angle right. This tree is leaning back just a hair, which is perfect. That way it's nice and comfortable and I'm not leaning forward or side to side too much. There is a fair amount of adjustment on this tree stand, but I try to always get it is straight up and down or just leaning just a hair back if I can. So I'm gonna put this, probably about right in here somewhere, so I can get it right around that top step. I don't really have a spot I like to put it every single time. It just kind of depends on the tree, whether I put it lower on that top stick or if I have some limbs to grab onto, I can put it a little bit higher, just kind of wherever I need it for my shooting lanes and for the particular tree. So I think I'm going to put it right about there. It looks pretty solid. So with this bracket, it's really nice that it just has a strap, my bracket here, and then a ratchet strap, and I can just hold on to that, put this strap right around the tree. Should be good to go. Now, one thing to note is that ratchet straps are loud generally, so something that I like to do is to cover the actual ratchet strap with a glove or with my gloved hands to try to make it a little bit quieter. So I'm making absolutely the lowest noise possible, which again with the ratchet strap is pretty difficult. So in the mornings when it's cool and that sound travels a long ways, it's kind of tough to be really quiet. But the buck I shot last fall to this exact setup, it was an early morning, cool, frosty, and basically no wind whatsoever, and I got away with using that ratchet strap. So I really haven't seemed to spook any deer from it, and it is super solid and secure and safe, which is the most important part. Now that I've got the bracket secure, I'm gonna go ahead, grab the rope that I have attached to my safety harness and pull up my tree stand. So the nice thing about this stand, it's just got this one knob here that I can put right inside the bracket. Pop that in, and the top is totally secure, so I don't have to try to hold it with one hand and throw the ratchet strap around with another. It's a really nice feature there. And then I've got a bottom strap right here that I'm gonna pop off and then secure the bottom with that. So I've got 2 points of contact. And this stand has quite a bit of adjustment, like I said, but it actually looks about perfect right there. So I can just go ahead and line up my bottom strap. Make sure I'm not going over any ropes or sticks or anything like that. And then just pop that bottom strap in and secure it. Usually put my stand up just a little bit like that. Tighten it down real good. That way when I put some pressure on it, it's really secure. Absolutely not going anywhere. Super safe and super fast. At this point, I can make the necessary adjustments to my seat as well as my platform if I need to, and really get it nice and level, or just tilting just a hair back, like I said, so I can be leaning back against the tree real nicely. At this point, I'm gonna take this paracord rope off that I used to pull up the stand, and I'm just gonna tie it over here to the tree stand for right now. If it's dangling too low, I don't want the deer to be able to sniff and smell it if they're by my stand. So later on I can actually pull that all the way up, put it back in my backpack for the hunt. But let's get up here and see what we're working with. So again, there's some limbs up here, and I want to make sure I'm secure to the tree. So I'm also going to grab my other rope and get that ready to go, so I can go ahead and put that higher up on the tree and connect it to my back strap on my safety harness. But let's get up here, make sure the stand is secure. Feels really, really solid. Yeah, very nice. So now I'll take this other rope and go ahead and attach it up here a little bit higher. I usually like to have this right around eye level or above. Somewhere in that range works well for me. So that way I can attach the back strap on my safety harness to it, just like that. And it's out of the way a little bit. I can draw back and shoot anywhere I need to without this rope being in my way. You can leave the one on your waist there, or maybe switch it around and put it on the back, but it's a lot safer to have this one fully connected above you in the tree. And also, if you fall, you're not going to fall near as far, maybe only a couple feet or so. And it gives me, like I said, perfect range of motion. That thing's not getting in the way at all, even of my back bow arm, totally clear. So now that I'm up in the tree, it's time to drop the pack. Occasionally, I will take my bow hanger and put it in one of my pockets of my pants, depending on what pants I have. If I have some heavier late season pants and I've got a lot more pockets in there, I can do that. Otherwise, I'll just set it right in my backpack. I can grab whatever bow hanger. This is just a step, but I use it as a bow hanger. And I usually like to put that on my left side for the most part. It depends on the tree. Sometimes there's a limb coming out and I can put it right here, right in front of me. That's best case scenario, but it just kind of depends on tree to tree, whether it's on the left side or the right side. But for the most part, I usually like to put it on my left side. It's important for me to get the bow hanger up first. That way I can pull my bow up immediately, get an arrow on, and be ready to go in case a deer comes by. Now I'll unhook my bow rope and put that in the pack. I'm gonna grab another hook of some sort and use that for my backpack. If there is like a limb, I can use that as well. Pop this in here somewhere. I'll put it right about here. It depends on the tree. Good spot for my backpack, right there. Kind of out of the way a little bit, but still super accessible. Not in the way if I need to draw back whatsoever, but I've got easy access to it right here. Got my rattling antlers, super accessible. Anything in my backpack, snacks, water, anything like that. I've either got my grunt tube right there in my pack or on me in a pocket on my chest. Got my bow perfectly right here. And this is pretty much my setup for the most part, all the way from September through January. any state I've ever really hunted, and pretty much any conditions or time of year that I've hunted. The height of the stand kind of depends on the tree and whether I use that 8er or not, but typically I'm saying probably in the 14 to 18 foot range, which is totally fine for me. I don't need to be super high. Shot my biggest buck ever about 8 feet off the ground, and had a lot of other awesome encounters 8, 10, 12 feet off the ground. So it's not like I need to be super high, but I can get probably 20 to 22 feet with the use of that 8er, and if I really stretch out those sticks if I need to get that high. At this point, I'm ready to sit down and enjoy the hunt. It usually takes me about 15 minutes from the time I walk up on the trunk to being fully set up here. Depending on the tree, if there's a couple more limbs or kind of an odd-shaped tree, it can take more like 30 to 45 minutes at times. And then if I'm filming my hunts, which I love to self-film all my hunts, it usually takes more like 45 minutes to an hour to get all my camera gear set up and ready to go. If you're interested in my full tree stand self-filming setup, I made a video all about that, and it's linked in the description of this video. If you'd like some Bow Only Outdoors merchandise like this shirt, check out our website, Bow Only Outdoors, and click on the store tab, or go to bowonlymerch.com. The teardown is pretty simple. It's the same process in reverse. If I have a morning hunt and I think there might be some late morning activity, sometimes I'll keep my bow up a little bit longer just in case a buck cruises by. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and drop the bow. I'll tear down the bow hanger, put that in my pack, pop the pack off, step out that was holding my pack, throw my backpack back on. Then at this point, I like to double check and make sure I have everything gone with all my camera gear. Sometimes it can be easy to leave a GoPro or something hanging way up in the tree. Looks like I've got everything out. So now time to tear the stand down. Take my other rope, put it down lower so I'm still connected to the tree. Now that I'm connected, I can unhook from the top one, take that out, put that back in my pack. Take the lower strap off, and then I always kind of use that to fasten the platform to the main body of the stand. That way it's not making a bunch of noise when I'm hiking out, not rattling or anything like that. Move my strap back through, and I can just go ahead, pop the stand right out. I've got my rope connected, and I can just go ahead and drop it down. Take down my ratchet strap. And go ahead and put that right back in my pouch. Moving on down the tree, the exact same process. Peel these sticks right off. Then I'll go ahead and get these ready to go so I can stack them once I'm on the ground. Loop that through there. Perfect. Keep on moving. Once I get toward the bottom, I can just stand here and usually get these last two from the ground and get those taken care of, get everything ready to pack out. What's nice about these sticks is I can just stack them pretty easily here, make sure everything's all lined up and they stack really nice together. And the last one here, strap over top. Now I can just put the sticks back on my pack, grab the stand, grab my bow, and head out. It usually doesn't take me very long at all to tear down. I've done it in about 5 minutes before, a lot quicker going down than going up, which is really nice, especially if it's late at night. That's my full hang and hunt tree stand setup. It's one of my favorite ways to hunt, so I don't pressure an area too much. I can just go in blind. If I know of a general location or maybe even a tree that I've picked out on the map, can get in, get up quietly, hunt, and get out, and not put too much scent on the ground or pressure into an area. It's worked really well for me over the years. If you have any questions about my setup or have found something that works really well for you, I would absolutely love to learn about it. Please feel free to drop that in the comments below. With that, I hope you guys found this video helpful and took something away from it. Thank you so much for watching.